Hi everyone, thank you for tuning into the Say More podcast. I will say more today because I was just talking to Phoebe right after she asked me about how I'm doing, and y'all, I just got achieved. I just Mortal Kombat KO'd from looking for something to wear. So, long story short, I'm kind of done with my workout. I woke up early this morning, got my workout done early in the morning. Everything's good. I'm ready to go. And then I'm taking a shower. Everything's shower. Hair is done, shaved, whole entire body. I feel great. I'm moisturized, all the things. And now I'm going to a laser appointment later today. And I need some loose clothes to wear to put my numbing cream on because I'm doing my Brazilian, my armpits, and yeah. So I'm I don't want to wear gym clothes. I'm always in gym clothes. Let's, work something out. And I
Mix it
wanted to
up.
wear that black bodysuit. Now, my all my black clothes are in the same drawer. What a pain is when you wear black clothes and they're all in the drawer and you're looking for a black bodysuit. Babe, I open my drawers, all of them, about 10 times, going with the textures because obviously, you can't see anything because everything is so black and different shades of freaking black. But I know that bodysuit specifically is a different texture, anyways. I changed twice and I'm now exhausted. I am absolutely achieved. I feel like my brain is not working. I don't even know how I'm gonna head out the door to go to my appointment, which is 45 minutes away. But I'm glad to be on a podcast. I'm glad to be talking to you, my love. How have you been? How's the travel back home been? I mean, that's really what I'm concerned about. You're settling in and everything. So how's Vegas? How are you? How's you doing?
Oh, well, I feel like, and I feel like you definitely could probably understand this, but you know when it's just go, 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 and now I'm finally settled, and I'm okay, cool, let's get into our routine, let's do this. Literally landed the next day, and then yesterday, exhausted. I realized I was oh, I'm really prep is really prepping right now. You've been traveling so much, you've been ignoring that you're tired because you've just been running on fumes and highs because of all the events and stuff. Now those external events are all done. I'm cool. I'm exhausted. I'm so tired. So yesterday I literally crashed. I was so tired. And you know when prep is just prepping where you're just I was trying to get stuff done. It just wasn't happening. So I was right, just do it tomorrow because I know I'm going to be in a bit of a better headspace tomorrow. So let's just do that. It's fine. It's okay to delay things a little bit. It's fine because I didn't text you back twice and you were are you okay? Are things going well? And I was yeah, the prep has just been prepping though. So the last couple of days. But now today I feel a lot more and this is why I always like to just try and make sure that if I do feel overwhelmed and stuff, I'm okay, just if you need to, you have tomorrow. You don't have to get everything done today, work-wise and stuff like that. So, but Vegas is good. I feel settled in. I feel good. We're obviously at the prep center's
You do?
house. I feel settled. Yeah, I feel settled now because I'm I know I'm going to be
Yeah.
here for the next 5 weeks, you know? I have peace of mind of
Yeah, it's
that.
like the moment you've been waiting on and now you're there. So it's all right, I mean, I'm here and I'm gonna stay here for a while, so it's easier to settle in, I guess. Um,
Yeah.
I'm talking to you and my arms are heavy and I did my arms
I
are
can see your
heavy and
posture.
I did
You're like
like
this.
I can't yeah, I don't even know what I need. I need a massage. I need to go to bed. I would literally take melatonin right now and go to sleep and see you later. But I mean, very interesting episode today about catching up. But can we say that? I mean, we're officially on Patreon because that's gonna come out.
Yeah.
Am I fucking up the episode right now?
No, no, no.
Can we talk
You're
about the
not.
Patreon?
Yeah, we can. We can actually fully talk about it now, just for for a sec, because it's been something that's been in the works for ages, and we haven't actually. I mean, we haven't really discussed it because obviously we haven't been able to announce it, but now it's fully out there. It's actually out there, and hopefully, obviously, all you guys are kind of, you know, looking at it, wanting to sign up and all that type of thing, and going into it probably like a little bit more. It's just a platform where we can discuss, like you said before, more topics and specifics of things, where we can be like, okay, cool, like, let's talk about this today. Let's connect with our audience today. Like, let's just do a little bit more, you know? So, yeah, but it's nice to have it here.
Yeah, a little bit. So, our first Patreon episode is going to be about the period, and I was just watching a bunch of video before we jump in, and about syncing like your period and stuff. Which, I mean, surprisingly, you did. I didn't even know you had an actual app to do it, but I think it's so ahead, and I think it's such a smart thing to do. Again, if it's something that can help you with the process and not overwhelm you in any means, because you know it's always with fitness is every time, okay, what does you more harm than good? I always tell Phoebe, like, Phoebe's like, did you weigh yourself? I'm like, no, like, you know, the scale is like, she's good over there, like, for today, you know, it's like there's something that at some point I know what will benefit me with my process and not, you know, sticking to the scale. So, yeah, that's for the Patreon, with more topics. I'm super excited for our first episode we're going to record. No, it's going to be our fourth episode, but first topic-oriented episode about the period, menstruational cycles, the ovulations, all the good stuff that we are going through once in a month for the rest of our life as women.
Yeah, literally.
So, I was watching a couple videos, and I'm fascinated by it now, and in the phase that I'm in now, it also makes so much sense of like how I am behaving, like a little bit tired, a little bit less strong, it's a bit more hard at the gym, blah, blah, blah. But we'll go in depth with all that with our newest episode on Patreon, which is going to be shorter, more straight to the point, less miscellaneous. And I was just also saying how I got a little ADHD bubble when you were talking, like, English language like bugs me so much, because you know when you say, oh, we've been like doing that for ages, and then we're gonna talk about a couple specific things, like how am I able to like figure out what ages mean? Like, it's so relative, but it also means like the same thing for everybody. Or like, I remember like a couple and a few, it's like it's both are words that doesn't mean anything, but it does mean something. Like, but for someone a couple means like 4, and then what is few? Like, what's this threshold? Like, couple is like 2. Like, girl, English. Anyway, so that's my little ADHD bubble of the day. We don't have to go in
That
depth
was like
with
distraction
any of that.
mode. Like, this is what I'm thinking about, whereas this is what Phoebe's saying. I know what you mean. You're like, why she said a couple? What does that mean? Does it mean a couple of what? Like, what does that specifically mean? That's so funny.
Because you said ages. I'm like, ages is like 100 years for me. You're like, we've been, you know, working on this for ages. It's like, I mean, yeah, we've been working for a long time, but like, English language is so funny to me. It's like ages. I mean, we don't have that word in French.
So
I don't even know what that means. Yeah.
That's so funny. Yeah, so long. We've been working on it for a while. So long. I mean, it's not been that long, to be fair, but a while.
But see? You're like, for ages. I think
so
ages
long
probably means like, you know, we've been working for a long time, but talking about it recurrently. Like, you know, it means something, but it's so relative. Anyway, like, I feel that people that doesn't speak English completely understands what I'm saying right now, but babe, so you feel settled. Today. You're going to stay there for a while. And I'm completely the opposite. Like, I'm about to start like traveling and having events like every other weekend. So we're gonna be in. Yeah.
Really? So wait. Let's take that back. So you're going to the women's seminar, because you're usually the one that's completely like, right, I'm settling. I can't move. Like, I need my routine. Yeah. So I was like, what the? Like, I didn't realize. So I know you're going to the women's seminar obviously this weekend, and then what have you got like? Backdate like after that, like what are the other events and stuff?
It's gonna be every other week. So women's seminar, then a week home, then Pittsburgh, New York, a week
Oh
home.
my God.
Then Virginia, DC, a week home, and then we're flying to the Arnold, bro. That's like that's it.
Fuck. Is this the most you've traveled? Like, well, I say the most you've traveled in a prep, but like for a while. I said, fuck, I can't. Now I'm like, now I'm saying a while. I'm just thinking for ages or a while or a long time. That's all I'm thinking about now. But I mean, for the last 2 years, has this been the most you've traveled in a prep? Or this close to a
Not for
prep?
the last 2 years, but I want to say in the last year definitely because I made it a point the last year to not travel that much anymore, and it would take me a lot to like leave, or it would be for like bombshell photo shoot and what's not. Oh, and there might be a bombshell photo shoot within all of that, like which means going to the West Coast. Thankfully, all my trips are like East Coast based.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're settling in, I'm settling out.
Out. The fuck
But
out.
I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. I really want to make it, 2024. It was not, I mean, when I sat down, I was like, okay, like, what are we doing with all this? And that's definitely one of the things I want to do more is like being out there and just taking every opportunity that I get, but opportunities that make sense as well. Like, I'm not going to, I wouldn't have been to the LA Fit Expo. Like, it's this weekend also, but I wouldn't go because it's the West Coast. Like, I'm flying only direct flights. Like, I'm not doing any layovers or whatever. I always know ahead of time where I'm going to stay, what furniture they're going to have, like appliances, my meals, the weather. Like, I know of these things. They're all common to me. So there's nothing new that I'm going to have to adapt. And we're finally on track. Like, I haven't booked my trip until I knew we were back onto losing a pound a week, because I was going into, when I always measure it that way. It's like, okay, once I have my weight and we have the weight goal in mind, I'm like, okay, we're 3 pounds a week to reach out our goal. And then 2 pounds a week to reach out our goal. And then 1.8, 1.5 for a while. And then now we're finally at 1 pound a week to reach our stage weight. So I was like, okay, let's book. Let's just do it.
Let's make it official. Now we can move forward with these achievements. Like, it's like prioritizing. Like, obviously we're on prep, but you have to prioritize the prep before you then say, okay, yes, I'm going to do this, because you don't then want to be put behind on, other things that, like, your prep and stuff that you want to try and be pushing for. So, which is good. That's really, really good.
Yeah, smart things. So, so far so good. Like, you feel like you're on your sleep game now. I mean, you were up early this morning too.
Yeah, I was up early this morning because I had clients and stuff. So today's quite a busy work day. So we got up early. So we were up around 5, and then kind of obviously got to the gym, obviously for 6 or so. Had clients, already done my first half of cardio. Going to train, or haven't eaten yet, which is like, this is the first time I haven't had like my breakfast for like, because usually I'm very structured. I'll be like, right, 8 o'clock I have my breakfast, and then this time I have so now we've changed it to kind of like, okay, today's going to be like 10:30 that I have my breakfast, and then I have my pre-workout meal, then change, just because of the way that my day's structured today. But I feel like I said before, I feel more settled, or like more at peace now, knowing that now my environment is going to be consistently the same for the next 5 weeks. Like, we've got Pittsburgh. We'll be going to Pittsburgh on the 2nd, or we'll be technically leaving on the 1st, and then we'll be leaving on the 1st in the evening and getting there and arriving on the 2nd, seeing JM, and then obviously literally leaving the same day. So that's going to be pretty busy, but that's the only thing that we have that
Babe,
I'll be traveling for.
I need to send you the hotel. I need to tell you about the hotel that I normally go, because it's really good.
Oh,
Even though you're staying for one night, it's just really good because of the distance. And you have the shuttle that picks you up. You go, and then you can just do one Uber, and it's like 8 minutes away.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
I'll
good.
send you the hotel if you want to, because it's just easier. So I'm literally going to
Yeah, that would be good.
I'm going to be one day before you. I won't even see
I know. We'll miss you. I'll miss you like literally by like a day. So I'm like, damn it. But yeah, I'm excited for that, because it's like a little trip. We're doing like a little team trip. obviously because Courtney's also, you know, a wellness competitor that's been invited as well this year, which huge congrats to her. Obviously, it'd be her pro debut as well. So that's going to be exciting to go with her. Yeah, I know, because she obviously won a pro card at the Arnold's last year. So I don't know if that gives you an automatic invite or not, but I can't remember how it works. But she still had to apply and stuff. But I think she had a good chance of obviously getting it. So yeah, she got it this year, and so it's exciting to obviously be with her as well whilst we're obviously at the prep center and stuff. So, but yeah, like I'm settling in, and I think for me, I've realized like environment is massively affects me. So like knowing that, okay, now I'm at the prep center house. I've got the house there. I can come here, do my cardio. I know where the gym is. I know this is I have my own little office in the prep center gym, which is really lovely of Adam to be able to do that for me. So like little things like this, I'm like, okay, cool. Now I know what I've got going on. Whereas when I was in London, in the UK, obviously at my dad's house, working on other people's time was a little bit more difficult when, you know, external things are like that in prep. So like, which is obviously it happens. Like sometimes you can't afford to be segregated and be like, okay, I'm by myself. I can, you know, have my own space. If you are in like your parents' space or something like that, it's sometimes difficult to focus on stuff like that, like prep and stuff, and make your environment work without it being too stressful. So I think in the UK, I was a little bit more stressed than I would like to have been. Then obviously came to Miami, we had our own space, and immediately I was like, okay, cool, I feel less stressed. Like I even said to you, I was like, I feel like now I'm here, I feel like Zen vibes going on. Like I actually feel like content, which is good. So I think environment is very much everything, but I don't think you realize it sometimes until you have like a good environment, you know?
Yeah, I think because it's also in our character to just make it work whatever happens, and it's hard to juggle between being so grateful to do what we do, being able to, you know, work with the family, but also knowing that everything affects us as like bodybuilder. We need to be on timing with everything. It's 24/7. Like our sleep needs to be good. So if it's not your bed and you're not comfortable in your bed, then everything kind of like trickles down. If it's not like at least a minimum on point and a minimum of like comfort. So I'm glad that you not only you found like your environment like settled, but also a good environment, and you're thriving now. So super happy for you about that, because I think you do need that the last couple weeks of prep.
Yeah,
Especially.
100%.
Yeah.
Do you feel
So
like, obviously, you've got a lot going on with your travel and stuff like that? I mean, which I think a lot of people would probably relate to if they do travel a lot, like, how are you going to try and organize? Obviously, one, you're going to have to make it work, like we've said before, but how are you going to organize yourself with keeping everything on track? Like, okay, let's do my cardio, let's do this, like, how are you going to feel a little bit more, like, structured with having a little bit more, you're not out of routine, but you'll be in different environments to try and keep the routine that you have in Miami. So how are you going to do that, you know? If that makes sense?
So thankfully, I will be staying in the same time zone. So I think that's one thing that helps a lot. Second of all, planification. Like you need to plan everything as much as you can. Most of my trips are a 1 full day trip, or like 2 half days, or 2 days. Like the only one, it's in New York, and I'm staying longer because I'm staying at a friend's house that I've already prepped in before, like between the Pittsburgh and the New York Pro. Shout out to Juan Morel and Karen Morel. Like they're just, I mean, I have my own bathroom, my own, like they have a full gym downstairs if I need to. So everything is really possible. And as far as event goes, I'm switching my rest days now to Saturdays instead of Sundays. So I'm just going to go through that transition now, since we're having the event on Saturday. So I'm going to do my cardio on Saturday, because Saturday is the full day. So I'm going to do cardio in the morning, shower, spend the whole day at the event, and then I'm going to sleep. Either, do my cardio in the morning before driving back home, because thankfully this event this weekend is in Orlando, so I'm going to be able to drive, and then train on Sunday. And then good. Sunday is normally my touch-up day, which I keep on purpose on the Sundays, because it's the end of the week, and it help me reset and also set the tone for the week after. So it's like a back and arm day. So I'm strategizing. Oh my god, that was
Strategy.
ugly.
Ooh, strategize. No, that doesn't sound right. Strategize. Strategizing. No, that doesn't sound right. Strategizing. Is it? Strategizing.
Strategizing.
It's not jar. It's a strategy.
Jive.
No, it's not G's. Strategy. Fuck this word. What the? Strategizing. Yeah, that's it. Strategizing. It just doesn't sound right. Anyway.
My workout. And then my meals, I think the biggest helpful tip that I can give you, especially when you're going through events, is just to put an alarm every 3 hours and just, you know, you start and then you put your alarms every 3 hours, because the things with these events like that is just hard to like, they don't plan it around a bodybuilding schedule. Like I always laugh with Sandy, because when she does those events, I'm like, everyone in here, like, I mean, 50% of these girls are on prep. Like, to have a lunch break at 12, we need like a break at 10 to eat, and then 12:31, and then like a bodybuilder schedule. But I always laugh about it. Like, I make it work, and like I said, it's easy travel. I'm not doing any trips that requires me to do a layover, not because I'm fancy. It's just because I know that if I go to the West Coast, and whenever I did have a layover, then there's a snowstorm that makes your flight delayed, then you need to stay longer, and then you don't have enough food, and then I'm eating egg whites for the third time of the day. Like, it's just not ideal. So that's the way that I can afford to travel. And I mean, it took me 7 years of like trial and error to like figure it out. But yes, for people that are asking, you are allowed to bring meals on the plane. Don't bring a full container of salt. Don't bring a full container of peanut butter. But other than that, you can definitely make it work. So
yeah. One thing I've recently downloaded that has helped me stay organized with life is an app called, this is not sponsored either, something called Structured. Because the Satisfy and To-Do list, because, you know, I love lists. Well, we both love lists. I don't know why, I love the satisfying feeling. I don't know what it is today. Honestly, we just can't talk. Like, I can't get my words out. Anyway, I love the satisfying feeling of like ticking and it being like a little, okay, cool, ticked. Do you know what I mean? And I don't know, it's so silly, but like, obviously you said about making sure you set your alarm for like meal 1, 2, 3, whatever. And I've been doing that recently to try and make sure that like I'm just consistent with meals and stuff, because sometimes I'll get to the end of the day and I'm like, cool, I've had 2 meals, which is not ideal. I need to make sure that I'm like, okay, don't put that aside. I need to make sure I'm eating. So recently started doing that like a week ago or so, and it helps a lot. But doing that little tick thing, I don't know why, it's so satisfying. Like just being like, cool, tick, checked off. Like meal 1, done. Do like, I've done like, okay, hair wash day is today. And like, do your vacuums this morning, do your cardio, tick. Like little things like that. It's so satisfying to do. So I don't know why I randomly saw it on Instagram or like TikTok or so. No, it wasn't TikTok, it was Instagram. Like it came up as an ad. And I was like, oh, let's see what this is about. And it's really fun. It's free as well, which is great. So it's just cool. I know, it's the same as your calendar. You know when you have in your iPhone, it's a calendar and you can put events in there. It's exact same as that, but you can just tick them when they're done. So you can just click it and it just does like a little click, and like it's like a little congratulations, like cool, that event's done. And I'm like, oh, satisfying. That's so basic, but it's a little thing like that kind of makes you even like want to stick to things like even more, or do things even more, not procrastinate them even more as well. Because sometimes it can be like that when you're in prep, it's just procrastination, and you're like, oh, let's just do it tomorrow, or let's do it later and later and later, and it just gets way too late, and you're like, I want to get that box ticked, so I'm going to do it now and tick it. And it just feels so satisfying. So yeah, that's a little thing that I've been doing recently to kind of keep me on my organization with everything, really.
I love it. I think we can both agree that if you're in the bodybuilding world and you've been doing it for a while, we're kind of accomplishment junkies, because that's the only way you can really stay motivated, is just feeling like you've accomplished things. And it's like the feeling after your cardio, it's like the feeling after like a good posing session, like the feeling of being on your game, like the feeling of being on your, like, and even washing your hair becomes an accomplishment, like getting your laser done becomes an accomplishment, like getting your um skin routine done is an accomplishment. So I think we're accomplishment junkies. That's how I'm going to start calling myself. Because I'm
I
trying to
actually kind of
understand.
like that though. I kind of
Right?
like that
But
because it.
do you feel like
I
it
don't
makes
know.
sense for like
I don't.
to explain why we are how we are?
I mean, yeah, to be fair, that actually, when you said that, it made so much sense. When you just said accomplishment junkies, I literally it just like a light bulb just went off in my head because I was like, fuck, like who actually structured, like a normal person who has a 9 to 5, doesn't like do bodybuilding shit, who has like meal 1, 2, 3 structured, hair wash day fucking structured, a bloody like do your vacuums, do your cardio, do your whatever. Like that's all structured in my calendar, and I know that people probably relate as well. But it's like, fuck, like you do get addicted to those. Okay, let's keep ticking. Let's keep ticking. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't think it's a bad. I do. I think it can be a bad thing if it's like. I mean, if it's then like, because sometimes lists can get like so long, and I do get like overwhelmed when the list has like 20 things on it, and you look at it, and you're like, fuck that. Like, I'm not doing that today. When it's like meal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then client 10 or whatever, and then vacuum and hair wash and this. I was like, sometimes you look at it, you're like, no, that's not happening today. Like, so I get that it could be a bad thing for sure, but I kind of like. I don't know. I kind of like it being, always striving for more.
It definitely brings more positive than negative. And I think if people, start with literally putting everything, because it's funny, I have like my agenda is more so the day to day. And then I have a calendar on my fridge that's another kind of thing. And then I have a journal that is more kind of things. And then obviously it's super spread out, which is useless.
You like writing things though, don't you?
I love, oh my God. I have 3 notebooks in front of me right now, which I'm trying not to mix too much. So but I always ended up being mixed a little bit, but it just feels good. Like little accomplishment, like making the bed, like ordering, new candles, like my adult life is in one notebook. And then my bodybuilding is in one other notebook, and then my agenda is like a mix of all of this together, with the urgency and priority. So I only write priorities in my agenda. In my notebooks it's like everything, and then I have another notebook that it's more like brainstorming, like brain trash that I call it. So it's just brain trashing, but then from that brain trash I get lists out of those brain trash, because I'm like, oh shit, that's actually a good idea. And then
That's funny.
And then on the fridge, more like family stuff, kind of like keeping track. Like I do write like, okay, we're 4 weeks out, 3 weeks out of like on the fridge, just to remind Aldo to do it, to like look at it. And now I might also
remember.
Not only the weeks out, but I'm also I just did a little like red drop on the calendar, so it indicates my period.
Stop! Oh my God, that's actually you. So you say like, just to let you know, it's coming up. Just to let you know, that's actually a good idea though. To be fair, because I mean, how would guys actually like know? Well, obviously, I think you spoke about this before, which we'll obviously speak about on our Patreon and stuff like that. Anyway, but I know you spoke about it before, where like sometimes they will have the app. Like I obviously track my period through my app, and like the boyfriend of that would then track that on their app. Do you know what I mean? Like, so they know, like what their girlfriend's going through, which is so interesting. But I feel like sometimes guys just don't want to know. Like when I say it to Max, he's like, oh God, like stop talking. Like because he knows obviously what a period is and stuff. He's like, I don't know how you go through that. That's just, it's a lot. And I'm like, yeah, I know it is. So appreciate what the fuck I have to do. What the fuck I have to go through.
No shit, it's a lot. Yeah, I'm
So
still kind
that's
of like,
funny.
I do have mixed feelings about really tracking it and kind of, they call it something like cycle syncing, which I find it fascinating. But sometimes knowing too much gives you that leverage of like excuses. And I'm like, we understand the struggle. I get it. And sometimes it's great that when I have those like I'm tired, like why am I so moody? Why I want to cry all the time? Like why am I so like just insecure? Like whatever. I can just go and be like, "Oh, okay, that's why." Okay. Like
Yeah,
this
it
is
gives
why.
yourself
But
that
I
reason.
but I don't want to do the opposite and be like, all right, in 2 days it's going to be that phase. I'm gonna feel shitty and it's gonna be bad. So like
Got you.
start telling people. So I agree with the awareness of it, but I don't like the to cycle sync your workouts, your nutrition to it. Like I don't feel like I'm there yet just because I don't want to have that leverage of excuses and that's just me being me, but I'll be super interested. Like if you're listening to us right now and you've been cycle syncing, please let us know in the box. Like I think it's really fascinating.
No, I
And
think it's good. It's something we could definitely kind of get into and talk about for sure. Like, um, on our Patreon and stuff for sure. Because I think there's so much out there that sometimes people don't know how to like handle it and what you need to like do differently. Sometimes you don't need to do anything differently at all. Sometimes people change their entire training around their cycle and stuff because
that's
it
what
can
I'm
affect them that
saying.
much, you know?
That's what I'm saying. And I'm
So,
like our grandparents, like they were just living, bro. They were just
yeah.
intuitively living, and I feel that we talk about that a little bit, Phoebes. Like, I mean, super shortly, but it's like today everything has a reason to everything. It's you're like this because of trauma. Like there's an excuse to every behaviors, and I think that's also very toxic. Like nothing is always excusable. Like all of these women that have lived so long, forever, they didn't have apps. They didn't have TikTok to excuse their behavior. They didn't have someone to tell them this is how your boyfriend should act. They were just kind of going with the flow. And I think you need to find a balance within. Okay, there's technology, there's knowledge out there that you should be kind of aware of, and then letting your kind of gray area to just go with the flow. I think one side all, one side off, it's not beneficial at
No.
all. I don't know if you
No.
saw this. There's this guy on YouTube. I came across like one of his video, but babe, the most like he lives the most scientifically like he does like red light therapy at a certain time of the day, and then he does ice cold bath
I've
at every
watched
time of the.
him.
Oh,
It's so interesting. Like I can't remember what his name was, but he like was it the same person where he like I don't know what he called it, but like de-aged himself. So he's
yeah.
like 50 something. Yeah, he's 50 something or he's older, but he literally has the body of like a 20-year-old. Like he's like no acne, like super young looking. And he's perfectly like planned out like everything. He takes like 100 pills a day, like, and like there's specific things he has to eat because he knows that other things don't digest. He's
Yeah.
like it's like to the book. Like that's
Yeah.
actually that was crazy
Yeah.
what type of life he like lives, but like he has brought it all down to like perfectly planning everything out. Like
Yeah.
everything's perfect. Like his diet has to be perfect, his training's perfect, his sleep is perfect, like everything down to the dot. So when it comes down to excuses, sometimes, like you said, there isn't really an excuse. Like you can still do it, you know? Like you can still like do what you need to do. There's no excuses behind things sometimes. I think sometimes we give ourselves that opportunity to be like, oh, I feel like we going back to the period thing. Oh, I feel tired today, so like I'm not gonna do this today. Oh, I feel this today, so I'm not gonna do this today. Whereas you can probably still do it. You just do it tired.
Yeah. I think movement is always good, like no matter what. Um, I think just maybe behaviors. Like if you're never just by yourself, but just explaining like sometimes your thoughts, like it's going crazy over here, like inside, and then you can explain. But so yeah, that's that. And then it's funny because I was also watching like from that guy came through like a Andrew Huberman and David Goggins like little short
Oh yeah.
on YouTube, and Andrew was like, I don't know how to ask you that, and I've been wanting to ask you that for a very long time now, and I'm like, da 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 da, like the suspense, and he's like, so how do you manage relationships? And I mean, coming off from our live podcast where like there was more relationship advice and stuff,
Yeah.
it's like when you're so successful and so driven, and there's an actual like human being like into your bed, and like they're gonna be the first one to tell you like, hey, you're about to burn out, or hey, I need time with you, or like Andrew was saying like how he gets that just overwhelmed anxiety feeling of just like, but I can't do this, like if I stop right now, like I to give you time, it's just not gonna be it, like I just can't do it. I was gonna, I don't know where I was going with that, but I just found it very interesting, and I didn't listen through David Goggins' answer. Obviously, about very interested about like what he would have to say about that. But did you ever felt like any relationship really, but as a bodybuilder, do you ever felt like something, someone was taking away from you being an athlete? Because you're successful, you've been successful, you won the Arnold UK, blah blah blah. Do you feel like there's things that can really be detrimental, like knock off your process or like your progress or being successful?
I think for me personally, I haven't had it where I've had like obviously, which also before I answer, massive shout out to everyone that came to the event, one, and two, like we got so like I forgot like a few of the questions and the things that people asked, but holy shit, like you guys went in, like we were talking about it after, and we sat there on Sunday and processed it after, and we were like, shit, those were some tough questions. They were like full on and like just so like so good. They really made us think, and there was a lot of really good bits in there. So massive shout out to that to them and everyone that came this weekend and supported. It was really really good to connect with you. So sorry, but going back to your question, I feel I personally haven't had that. So I've always had Max by my side, and he's always been the first person to say like, look, you're burning out, or look, you're doing this, like he'd pick up on things that I might be doing that I can't see in the moment, that I'm just running. And he's like, look, you need to either slow down, or this is my thought process behind this. What do you think, type thing. So I've always had him in my bodybuilding career, which I've been grateful for. And I think also that's why I've been so successful with, getting my pro card, getting to my career that I have now, because I've had him as leverage to kind of be like, look, you need to slow down, or look, just be careful of this, or just giving me that second opinion or second eye. Do you know what I mean? It's like the same as like a posing client. Like someone could be good at posing and they can't see something that they're doing wrong. I say wrong, but doing something that they could do better, for example. Max has been that person for me, and that's what I feel like a partner should be. It shouldn't be someone that like, you shouldn't do that. This is how I feel this situation is going through. What are your thoughts? And then I'd be like, okay, cool. I'm going to do this. I'm going to keep doing this because I need to do this. And then I'm going to come down and, bring it down, and then we'll kind of level it out. For example, like there's been many a time where he's been like, look, I think you're going to burn out very soon. Like what's up? What are you doing? Like I remember specifically in 2019 where I was traveling a lot, like to the US, trying to get that Olympia qualification. And he was like, I was on a show like 6 at this point, still hadn't got the invite and stuff like that. And he was like, look, like, you're going to burn out soon. Like, what is your next, like, game plan? And I was like, I'm just going to keep going until I get it. I get the qualification this year. And he was like, okay, cool. But at some point you will have to stop because you're going to burn out. You're not bringing your best to the shows. Your placings are getting a little bit lower. Like you can see like in your body. And I couldn't see that because I could only see the Olympia qualification, you know? So for me, I was like, nope, just keep going. And then we kind of took a step back. It was the same with Adam said the same. It was like you take a step back and you're like, okay, actually, if I rest, have an off season, you know, give my body a bit of a break, go again. It's not the worst thing in the world. So I think those types of people to have around you are very important. Having someone that could then be like, oh, you shouldn't do that or you shouldn't do this, I think that could be detrimenting to your progression because it depends how they're saying it. Do you know what I mean? Like if it's from a place of care and love, like I think you shouldn't do this. If it's telling you shouldn't be doing this versus I think you shouldn't do this, what do you feel? Do you know what I mean? Like it's the way they say it. The way they say it. And
It's either controlling. I mean, you can see if it's like it comes from a place of like trying to help you, and it's not like an ego trip. Like I mean, no,
Yeah.
I like a place of concern more so, and I think it comes down also to the trust that obviously
you
have between one another, and I think you guys honestly trust each other. He knows your abilities. He can trust you for yourself, and it's also like, how can he trust you for yourself? You know, like, are you gonna take care of yourself? You know, and yeah, I mean, I
know.
it's funny
It's a
because
lot.
I trust myself a lot on a lot of like things, and it came down to security at some point with Aldo. Like I remember one of our first like little argument was because I didn't order Uber, and it was like 5 minutes away, but it was in a very like dangerous like, you know, just like a safe place. But babe,
Yeah.
I'm used to walk everywhere. You know how we are. Like, I mean,
We're the
you went
same.
through
We're
the
the same.
same like childhood. I was like 10 years old, walking 3 hours on the street. Like, I don't know.
Exact same in
Like,
the UK. Exactly
like
the
5 minutes. He's on the phone. He's like, "You're gonna order Uber." I'm like, yes, yes, yes. I'm gonna order the Uber. Never did order the Uber. Gladly made it safe to my hotel. And he's like, how was the Uber? And I'm like, so I didn't take an Uber. Like it was 5 minutes away. Like I made it though, and like, here I am.
Yeah, I'm here.
And
Yeah.
and he's like, it's just a matter of safety. And I was just like, what are you like? You're exaggerating, blah blah blah. But he's like, that way I can trust that like you take care of yourself. Like, and I think it's important to know that your partner is actually like taking steps to take care of yourself. So
Yeah.
I mean, we
No, I
overlook those
get
things
that.
because we think we're like superhumans, you know? It's like,
Yeah.
it happens to everybody else but us. And then next thing you know, it happens to like your best friend, and it's like really unfortunate. So yeah, I agree with you on that. I think sometimes it takes a third eyes to be like, you know, they're gonna notice first because they know you best most of the time. Like after yourself, they know you best, or either your coach know you best, and it's like, baby girl, like, like you look pale, you look no good.
Yeah,
Like,
and it's funny
they,
when people like your partner or someone that you care about kind of picks those things out. Sometimes you could be offended at first, but then they're just generally doing it from a place of I can see this and I know you can't see this, and you're not probably gonna like this be what I'm gonna say. Like for example, like I don't know, Max has said like, oh, like wash your hair, like your hair's looking a little bit fuzzy or something like that, and I'm like fuck you, like, and then I look in the mirror and I'm like okay yeah, like I look a fucking mess. That's your nice way of like I do look like a mess. Let's just sort myself out. At first, you could get defensive and be like, "Oh, like why are you saying that? Just love me for who I am." This is what we were talking about, obviously, on our live podcast. Remember saying,
yes,
"Love me for who I am and what I am," but they're only doing it from a place of, like you said, concern, out of love, and they know that you would want them to no. You would want them to only give you the truth and what they think and not bullshit you. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
they wouldn't be like, oh, you look so pretty today when you look a fucking mess. Do you know what I mean? Like,
for sure,
little things like that,
for
I think
sure,
is important in a relationship. Just no
yeah,
BS.
exactly. I mean, for me, first friendship test, like low key, high key, whatever. if we're friends and I have a booger and I have something in my tooth and you haven't told me and you're sitting in front of me for a while, by
No.
then, like I have that chip on my shoulders, like we're already like we're 10 points down our friendship, like straight up. Like I don't even think I can trust you
That's
anymore.
funny.
And
That's
you know,
hilarious. That's true
Aldo's,
though.
yeah, Aldo's always telling me like, oh, you have like that big one, like that, you know, that the big. I'm like, babe, okay, like, all right, I get it. Like, let me go.
Specifics.
Specifics, yeah, yeah. So, I mean, yeah, that was a fun episode, babes. I think we should wrap it up. I do want to get
Yeah.
into that period cycling episode. What do you think? Are you like
Yeah.
good to go? I'm also hungry. That, like, not gonna lie.
Yeah. Not gonna lie, I'm hungry. Yeah. So, did you want to wrap this episode up then, and then we can start the other one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or did you want to leave the other one till later?
No, I think we should do it because I won't be able to. I could record tomorrow, but whatever you want.
What time tomorrow?
I can do.
Because I'm free all day tomorrow, to be fair. I could do any time. Well, it depends what time. Can you do morning, like early? Are you thinking early morning? Are you thinking evening? Well, not evening, but afternoon.
I need to go. I need to bring my my car to get an oil change tomorrow, which is super annoying.
What time?
Okay, let's sign off this episode. Like,
Yeah. Okay. So then, yeah, I was thinking, I was like, we just completely cut. So thank you guys for listening to this episode. It was like a little nice little catch up and like just a few topics kind of spoken about, like environment, settling in, and just kind of little things in between. But if you haven't already, please make sure you check out our Patreon, our new one. Again, it gives it gives us a little bit more opportunity to connect with you guys a little bit more, and obviously go through specifics with topics and stuff like that. So excited to kind of have this platform to be able to push to you guys. And yeah, if you haven't already, check out our other platforms like Spotify, YouTube, all the other things. But we love you guys. Thank you for always supporting and watching.
your support is so appreciated. We love having you here and hope you have an amazing rest of your week. I love you, my girl, and I will see you sooner than later.
Yes. Bye.